My wife laughed that I couldn't divorce her because her dad owned this town. I served the papers anyway, and she didn't know he'd just been indicted and their assets frozen. My wife, Marissa, had this habit of talking to me like she was untouchable, like consequences were for other people, like the world bent around her simply because her father had money, connections, and a last name that made half the town treat him like royalty. I used to ignore it. I used to convince myself it was harmless arrogance, that it came from how she was raised, not who she really was. But over the years, the jokes turned into warnings, and the warnings turned into threats disguised as sarcasm. "You can't divorce me," she'd laugh whenever we argued. "Where would you even go? My dad owns this town. You'd be broke in a week. You'd come crawling back." It was always said with a smirk, like she had already won a game I didn't even know we were playing. But what finally broke me wasn't the arrogance. It was the cheating. I found the messages by accident, late-night conversations, hidden under a fake name she thought I'd never notice. Weeks of hotel receipts, excuses about girls' nights, and a note on her phone reminding her to buy a certain brand of cologne for him. I didn't explode. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I just hit my limit. I quietly met with a lawyer, gathered everything I needed, and waited. And ironically, the opportunity fell right into my lap. That morning, she was sitting at the kitchen island, scrolling on her phone like she always did, sipping the expensive coffee her father shipped from out of state. She didn't even look up as I set the envelope in front of her. "What's this?" she muttered, barely glancing at it. "Divorce papers," I said. She laughed, actually laughed. A sharp, dismissive sound full of superiority. "You're funny," she said. "You think you can divorce me? My dad owns this town." She pushed the envelope back toward me like it was a joke I had ruined. "I'm serious," I told her. She rolled her eyes, stood, and kissed me on the cheek like I was being dramatic. "You'll calm down later." "You always do." But she didn't know something I did. I had received a phone call the night before, one from a friend who worked in the courthouse. Her father, the untouchable man who owned this town, had just been indicted for fraud. The FBI had frozen all his company assets. His accounts, his influence, his leverage, gone. Her shield had shattered, and she had no idea. I picked up the papers, placed them back in her hands, and said quietly, "I'm done, Marissa, and your father can't protect you this time." She frowned, confused. Then her phone buzzed. She checked it, her face drained of all color. And that was the exact moment she realized she was no longer untouchable and no longer married. Marissa stood frozen in the kitchen, staring at her phone like the screen had personally betrayed her. I watched the shift happen in real time. The confusion, the disbelief, then the creeping, icy panic spreading across her face. She swallowed hard. What is this?" she asked, turning the phone toward me as if I'd somehow explain it away. "A news alert. Her father's name. Federal indictment. Fraud. Asset seizure." It wasn't gossip. It wasn't rumor. It was everywhere. "I tried to warn you," I said quietly. She shook her head so fast her hair whipped over her shoulders. "No, no, you're lying. There's no way. My dad, he would have told me." "He wouldn't." Her voice cracked, something I had never heard from her before. I didn't feel satisfaction. I didn't feel triumph. I felt done. Empty. Like I had spent years pouring effort into someone who treated me like a disposable accessory. "Why didn't you say anything?" she demanded. "Because saying anything wouldn't have changed who you are." She flinched. For the first time in our marriage, she looked small, human, breakable. She grabbed my arm like she was afraid I would disappear right in front of her. "We can fix this," she whispered. "We can stay together. We can just wait until he gets out of it. He always gets out of everything." "Not this time," I said. "And even if he did, this isn't about him." Her grip tightened. "Is this because of—" She stopped herself, but I already knew what word she was choking on. "The affair." "Yes," I said. "Partly. But mostly it's because you treated me like I was beneath you. Like you were doing me a favor by being my wife. Every threat, every joke, every time you used your father's power over me, it all added up." She stepped back like I'd slapped her. Then, in a trembling voice, she tried her last defense. "You don't understand. Without my father's money, I have nothing. Nothing. You can't leave me now." I looked at her, really looked, and realized she wasn't upset because she lost me. She was upset because she lost the lifestyle she expected me to keep providing while she treated me like trash. "You'll figure it out," I said, just like everyone else. But I'm not your safety net. Her face hardened. So that's it. You're leaving me when everything is falling apart, when I need you the most. You didn't need me when things were good, I said. You only want me now because you're scared. I walked past her and headed toward the bedroom to grab the suitcase I had packed days earlier. She followed me like a shadow, her voice growing more frantic with each step. We can go to my mom's. We can stay with friends. We can move to another city. Just don't walk out. I zipped the suitcase. She grabbed my hand with both of hers, tears streaking down her cheeks. Please, she whispered. Please, I'm begging you. Don't do this to me. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I didn't throw her mistakes in her face one by one. I just stepped back and gently removed her hands from my arm. This isn't something I'm doing to you, I said. It's something I'm doing for myself. She stared at me, shaking her head slowly like if she denied it long enough, I'd magically undo everything. But I walked out anyway, down the driveway, into the cab I had scheduled. She stood in the doorway calling my name, quiet at first, then louder, almost desperate. But the moment the car door shut, her voice faded behind me. For the first time in years, I felt free. No threats, no manipulation, no shadow of her father's power over me. Just me. A clean break. A clean future. And the woman who once said I could never leave her was standing alone in a house her father no longer owned. Realizing the world didn't revolve around her anymore. Update that I didn't expect to write an update this soon. But the fallout hit faster and harder than even I imagined. 3 days after I left, I got a call from an unknown number. I normally don't pick those up, but something in my gut told me to answer. It was her father's attorney. Not her. Not her mother. Not a friend. Her father's attorney. He politely informed me, almost too politely, that the federal investigation had expanded. They were interviewing family members, reviewing financials, and requesting records. I'm not part of your client's financial dealings, I said. That's exactly why we're calling, the attorney replied. You're clean. We'd like to keep you separate from the ongoing issues. Translation: they needed someone innocent in the orbit. Her father's empire was collapsing, and I was the only person with a shred of credibility left. I refused involvement. He didn't push. That alone told me how bad things truly were. Later that afternoon, my phone lit up with a stream of texts from Marissa. Not the angry kind. Not the entitled kind. Not the smug, superior tone she always took when she thought she had leverage. These were fragmented, rushed, desperate. Marissa, please pick up. Please. I need you. Marissa, they froze all my accounts. I can't even pay for groceries. Marissa, mom's losing it. Dad's not answering. I don't know what to do. Marissa, why are you ignoring me? Marissa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Please come home. Marissa, I didn't cheat the way you think. It wasn't serious. Marissa, please, I'm scared. If this had been a month earlier, I might have felt the pull, the guilt, the urge to fix things. But now, it just confirmed everything I'd been denying for years. She didn't want me. She wanted a life raft. I muted her texts and went to make dinner. The next morning, as I left my Airbnb to head to work, someone was sitting on the curb outside the building. Hunched over, hood pulled up, small suitcase beside her. It took me a second to recognize her. Marissa. She stood when she saw me, eyes swollen from crying. Can we talk? She whispered. Please. I told her we could talk in public. Outside. Neutral ground. She nodded. She didn't have the energy to argue. We walked to a nearby bench. She tried to pull her sweater tighter around herself, trying to shrink into someone less threatening, less arrogant, less herself. I'm not asking you to fix anything, she said, voice trembling. I just need you to understand that everything is falling apart and I have nowhere to go. You have friends, I said. She shook her head instantly. No, I don't. They disappeared the moment the news came out. They're scared they'll be dragged into it. Nobody wants to be associated with us. I stayed silent. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment, she looked like the girl I had married, back when she wasn't drowning in her father's money and power. Did you ever love me? She asked. Yes, I said honestly. I did. She let out a shaky breath. Do you still? No. She cried, quietly, in that way someone does when they're trying not to look weak anymore. I'm not asking you to take me back, she said finally. I'm sorry. For all of it. For everything I said. For what I did. I was stupid. I thought the world couldn't touch me. I didn't say anything. I know I can't undo it, she whispered. But I don't know who I am without all of that. I don't know how to be a person without the safety net. That was the truest thing she'd ever said. When she finally looked up at me again, her expression softened. Can you just drive me to my aunt's house? She asked. She's the only one who will take me in. I don't want to cry in an Uber. That I could do. Not because she deserved it. Not because we were reconciling. But because she was human. And she was falling. The drive was silent. She kept her hands folded in her lap, like a child waiting for a verdict. When we pulled up outside her aunt's place, she didn't reach for my hand or ask for more. She just looked at me, defeated. Thank you, she whispered. She stepped out, closed the door softly. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. Because 2 days later, I got a message from someone I never expected. A federal agent. He said he had a few questions and that it concerned my ex-wife. And that's when everything shifted again. Final update. When I got the voicemail from the federal agent, I thought it was some kind of spam. The tone was too calm, too polite. But when I called back, the man answered with my full name, my old address, and details only someone official would know. He asked to meet in person. Neutral place, coffee shop, nothing dramatic. When he walked in, he didn't look like TV agents. No sunglasses, no suit. Just a plain shirt, tired eyes, and a stack of papers thicker than a college textbook. He thanked me for coming and got straight to the point. We're finalizing aspects of the case involving your ex-father-in-law. We need to clarify a few things about your financial history with the family. I told him everything I knew, which wasn't much. I kept my financial life separate, mostly because I never felt welcome in theirs. He nodded, scribbling occasional notes. But then he flipped a page and said, your name came up in a few of the conversations we've been reviewing. My stomach dropped. Conversations? I asked. He nodded. Your ex-wife spoke about you frequently with her father. More than you probably realized. He slid the file toward me, not for me to read, just so I could see it was real, and continued. She told him she married you because it made her look mature and stable. She described you as, how did she phrase it? Useful for her image. The words didn't stab. They didn't burn. They just settled into a part of me that had already suspected something for years. But the agent wasn't done. She also told him she wanted a divorce, he added carefully. Months ago. I blinked. What? She planned to leave you once she secured a trust payout from him. But with the indictment coming, her father advised her to stay legally married so she could access your credit if needed. Silence. Just a ringing in my ears. All those little comments she made. All the dismissiveness. All the times she treated the marriage like something temporary. It suddenly made sense. She wasn't going to leave me for love or passion or freedom. She was going to leave because she didn't think she needed me anymore. When that plan collapsed, she panicked. Not because she lost me, but because she lost options. The agent finished his questions, shook my hand, and thanked me for my time. He didn't say more than he was allowed to, but he said enough. When I left the coffee shop, I didn't feel anger, just a deep, heavy clarity. That evening, Marissa texted again. Not frantic this time. Not demanding. Not manipulative. Just one sentence. Marissa, I heard the agents talk to you. If you hate me now, I get it. I sat with it for a few minutes before replying. Me, I don't hate you. I'm just done carrying the version of you I wanted you to be. She didn't respond right away. An hour later. Marissa, I'm starting therapy next week. Not for you. For me. I didn't realize how much of my personality was borrowed from my dad. I read that message more than once. It was the first honest thing she had said in years. I didn't tell her I was proud of her. I didn't offer friendship or hope or a future. I just wrote, me, I genuinely hope you figure yourself out. She didn't text again. A month passed. Work stabilized. My apartment felt more like a home. I slept better. Not instantly, not magically, but gradually, like my mind was finally unwinding from years of invisible tension. One night, I found myself driving past the old house, the one her father bought, the one she used to brag about. It was dark, empty, bank-owned now. A white foreclosure notice on the window flapped in the wind like a tattered flag. I didn't feel vindicated. Not triumphant. Not victorious. Just finished. Like the final page of a long book had turned on its own. People talk about closure like it's some cinematic, cathartic explosion. For me, it was a quiet thing. A slow exhale after holding my breath for years. I didn't get justice. I didn't get revenge. I didn't get an apology that magically fixed anything. What I got was perspective. I realized I had spent so long trying to hold together a life that wasn't built for me, trying to love someone who didn't really know how to love herself. And when everything finally collapsed, I didn't fall with it. I walked away, not stronger, not wiser, just finally honest with myself. That's enough. Maybe that's all closure ever really is.